You may be killing your relationship one good day at a time. We've been taught that peace is a goal in relationships, but avoiding conflict is not the same as peace, protecting your peace. It's actually just a slow erosion. So when you choose to bite your tongue again and again, just to keep the peace, just to keep the day good, you may be signing a lease to live in a 24-hour loop where your needs stay buried and your partner never really knows what's going on and what you need, It's like, I call it the 24-hour relationship. Everything is kind of fine on the surface as long as you avoid dealing with real issues. And what you're doing is trading deep, uncomfortable truth for momentary comfort. It's understandable, right? It's like, don't rock the boat. One day that may be a small issue that you don't bring up in order to preserve the peace, but it can create, over the years, a major resentment, and you may barely recognize yourself after a while. You've been performing pleasant partner on repeat, or the one who sort of tiptoes around the other partner in order to maintain their emotional state. It can end up like your partner is perfectly happy in this version of the relationship, because why wouldn't they be? You are making sure their moods are good. And right, you're creating that environment for them. So why wouldn't they be happy? You're easy to love because you don't speak up. But that will blow up eventually. It could be a sudden breakup. It could be cheating. It could be emotional collapse where you finally snap and they're like, where did this come from? Right? And it came from all the tiny silences and all the little things you didn't say. Conflict is not the enemy. Avoidance, it is the enemy. So if it sounds like you, and you're like, I don't even know what I need anymore, then you're not alone. This is something that happens to a lot of people. That emotional suppression of oneself in the relationship. Maybe you grew up in a home where conflict was dangerous. Maybe pleasing was your survival strategy, but it is not the relationship strategy you're going to want, right, going forward. And so it's important to take that risk. And if you need to get support, talk to a therapist, talk to your friends, talk to your community. Even if you don't know what your needs are yet, it's okay to say, I don't know, but it's important to go through the process of figuring that out. If you want your relationship to work, it's important to be fully in it and to you're both important in this relationship, right? And the dynamic of you being the one that protects the other person's emotional state or protects the peace of the relationship at the cost of themselves is not a long-term strategy. If you are afraid of your partner, and so you cannot speak up for fear of their reactions to you saying anything about what you need, then that is a very important red flag to speak to someone. Call hotlines, speak to a therapist, speak to your friends, speak to your family, your community, and get help that way, because that's also just not a way to live your life, right? And it's really important to be safe. It's important to be heard, and it's important to matter in your relationship and not just be the people pleaser and the peacekeeper, because in the end, it won't work.